The final days of history's greatest conquerors. History remembers them as warriors who reshaped the world, leaders whose ambition had no bounds, but even Alexander the Great, Julius Caesar, Genghis Khan, and Napoleon Bonaparte, masters of conquest, met their end. Their lives burned brightly, but their final moments remind us that no empire escapes the inevitable. Let's uncover not only their last days, but the battles and brilliant strategies that defined their paths to greatness. And don't forget to subscribe for more stories that bring history's legends to life. Alexander the Great, the Macedonian king whose empire spanned 3 continents, stood undefeated in battle. His tactical genius shone brightest at the Battle of Gaugamela in 331 BCE, where he faced King Darius III of Persia. Despite being outnumbered, Alexander used a daring strategy. He deliberately left a gap in his line, baiting the Persian forces to attack. As they surged forward, he led his elite companion cavalry in a lightning-fast charge straight at Darius, breaking the Persian army's spirit. Yet his conquests were matched by his ambition. He dreamed of uniting East and West, blending cultures into a single empire. But in Babylon, in 323 BCE, his body betrayed him. Fever gripped him, sapping the strength that had carried him across deserts and mountains. His generals gathered around, desperate for guidance. When asked who would inherit his empire, he supposedly replied, "To the strongest." Those 3 words plunged his vast dominion into chaos, proving that even Alexander could not control the legacy he left behind. Julius Caesar, the man who turned the Roman Republic into his personal stage, was a master of both military and political strategy. At the Battle of Alesia in 52 BCE, he faced Vercingetorix, leader of the Gallic tribes, in a seemingly impossible situation. Caesar's forces were besieging the Gallic stronghold, but he suddenly found himself surrounded by a massive relief army. In response, he constructed 2 walls, one to keep the Gauls inside and another to hold back reinforcements. Against all odds, his double siege held firm, securing Rome's dominance in Gaul, but triumph bred enemies. On the Ides of March in 44 BCE, he entered the Senate, unaware that daggers hid beneath the togas of his supposed allies. His assassins struck swiftly and Caesar fell, bleeding beneath the statue of Pompey, his former rival whom he had defeated at the Battle of Pharsalus. As his life slipped away, his alleged words, "Et tu, brute," captured the betrayal that shattered Rome's future. Later, Napoleon Bonaparte rose from obscurity to rule Europe through sheer brilliance on the battlefield. At the Battle of Austerlitz in 1805, often called his greatest victory, Napoleon tricked the combined Austro-Russian forces into believing his army was weak. As they advanced into a trap, he launched a devastating counterattack, splitting their forces and securing a decisive win. This genius extended beyond battle. Napoleon revolutionized military organization and logistics, enabling his armies to march farther and faster than his enemies. But his ambition knew no limits, and it ultimately led to his downfall. After his disastrous invasion of Russia in 1812, where his grand army was decimated by winter and scorched earth tactics, his enemies closed in. By 1815, he was exiled to the remote island of St. Helena, stripped of everything. In his final days, he paced the damp, lonely halls of his exile, dictating memoirs and reflecting on the empire he had once controlled. In 1821, at the age of 51, he succumbed to illness, leaving behind a legacy as complex as his life. 4 conquerors, 4 different fates, but one undeniable truth: even the greatest cannot escape mortality. Their battles, strategies, and ambitions change the world, but their endings remind us of the fragile nature of power. Want more epic tales of history's greatest figures? Hit subscribe and join us as we journey through time's most fascinating stories.